I read these stories to the kids after we played a game. Usually it's on Saturday morning at the free class when I have the most kids. And so after we played a game in the summer, it's pretty darn hot in here, even with the fan going. So we sit in front of the fan and cool down, and I read them a short story. The Gambler and the Goblin. Once upon a time, there was a hapless gambler. Every time he went gambling, he was sure to lose. And one day he lost everything and was stripped naked except for his loincloth. Now I must do something. I can't go home and face my wife like this, he muttered as he trekked despondently into the nearby forest. What's despondently? Kind of unhappy. Kind of dejected. That's unhappy. At length he came to a big tree under which he sat down to rest. As soon as he was seated comfortably on the soft grass, he instinctively went into the posture of throwing the dice, as if he were in a gambling house. Ah, come on, Edo, which was Tokyo in ancient times. There you are now. Come on, Osaka. Fine. Wow. The gambler began to shout after throwing his dice before him with the most exaggerated gestures, as if he were really caught up in the game. This mimicking act continued for some time.
Hey, young man, what are you so excited about? Can you really see Edo and Osaka?
Someone asked in a low, reverberating voice behind him. Taken by surprise, the man turned around to see who it was. When he saw the being, he felt his heart stop beating, and not a muscle would move. Giant, long-nosed Goblin was standing, staring curiously at him.
Ah, don't get excited. I'm not going to eat you. I'm only interested whether you can really see Edo and Osaka,
the Goblin said quietly, trying not to upset the man any further. Aha, the gambler thought after regaining himself, but his mouth was so dry he could not speak. After a minute or so, he finally managed to say very faintly, Yes, you can really see what you want with this pair of dice.
Really? If so, please sell them to me,
the Goblin demanded eagerly. Although the gambler was very afraid of the Goblin and thought himself to be in mortal danger. What's that mean, mortal danger? It means that the Goblin could kill him. And then I guess from the way he answered before, they're known to be cannibals. They eat people. So he thought himself to be in mortal danger, but he decided to take a chance. No, I can't part with these dice. They're the most valuable treasure I have. But what can you give me for it? I might change my mind, the gambler said.
Well, let me see. They are so valuable. How about my sedge hat and mantle?
The gambler knew that the Goblin's sedge hat and mantle could make him invisible. What is a mantle? That's like a kind of a cape or shawl that they wear. It's probably a little bit more than a woman's shawl. It may have like shoulders into it. Maybe have slits that you can stick your arms out of. The gambler knew that the Goblin's sedge hat and mantle could make one invisible. Fine, if the Goblin really means what he says, I'll be the luckiest man in the world, the cunning gambler thought, and immediately exchanged his 2 dice for the sedge hat and mantle. After the gambler got them into his hands, the first thing he did was go to the village wine shop wearing the sedge hat and mantle and drink as much rice wine as he could. And the next place he visited was the tailor, where he stole a suitable kimono to dress himself properly. Goblin, on the other hand, was furious at being cheated by the cunning gambler and vowed to take revenge on him. When the gambler reached home, his wife was out, so he hid the sedge hat and mantle in the inner part of the closet and went to sleep. It was late in the morning when he woke up the next day. As he started to go out, he remembered the goblin's miracle hat and mantle and looked into the closet. They weren't there. "Surely, I swear I put them in there last night," he said to himself, and asked his wife about them. "Oh dear, my dear, they look so dirty and miserable. I decided they were useless and I burned them in the backyard," his wife said. The gambler had no time to scold her and rushed out into the backyard hoping he might be able to rescue him. But all he found there was a pile of ashes. "Ah, what luck," he said, totally crestfallen. What's crestfallen? That's mean to be despondent, dejected, be unhappy. But the next moment, something flashed into his mind, and then he quickly began to smear the ashes all over his body. "This'll make me invisible. Let me try it at the village market," he said to himself, and walked over to the market. There he picked up various morsels to eat, but nobody seemed to notice him. "Fine, I'll try the wine shop," he nodded triumphantly, and walked toward the shop. As he was walking, a light shower fell on him, and he put up his hands to protect himself. Fortunately, the wine shop was not crowded. The gambler stealthily walked up to the counter and stole a drink while the master wasn't looking. But when he tried to steal another drink, the master saw a vague, shadowy hand taking away a cup full of the rice wine, and as he continued to follow the cup, it tilted and emptied right in midair a yard away. "Darn that fox," the master mumbled hatefully, thinking it was a fox playing one of its usual tricks. So when the wine cup came back, he grabbed the shadowy hand by the wrist and twisted it as hard as he could. "Ouch!" the gambler cried out. Well, it was too late. He had not realized that the rain shower had partially washed the ashes from his hands, and they still enjoy telling this story in the village wine shops in the northern country today, known as Aomori Prefecture. Aomori Prefecture. Where do you think that is? Well, it's in the north. Why don't we go look at the map and take a look and find out where Aomori is. So here's our map of Japan again. So let's go take a look and find out where Aomori is. It's up in the north. So, yeah. Right there is Aomori. So it's up in the north, and there's lines on this map that it's called a prefecture also. So that means that there's a line on there, a boundary that shows where it's like a county line, but they call it a prefecture. And prefectures in Japan, they have so many people in them that they are governed like a state. So let's look at the legend here. See this here? That's called a legend. That gives you, it tells you what the different symbols on the map mean. So this map is printed for a lot of different countries. So you have to go down here and you see See the second one down here, that says mountain. So where there's a little bitty triangle and a number, that's tells how many meters high the mountain is. So there's secondary roads. There's a expressway under construction. Here we go. Administrative boundary. The administrative boundary. So that's probably the prefecture line. And then up here, that's an international boundary. So let's go back over here and see. Oh, looky there. There's a line going across there. I don't see it going up. So that must be the prefecture line for Aomori Prefecture. See that really faint there? It says Aomori. So that's the prefecture. So it's way up here at the top of Honshu. That's the main island of Japan. And then above that, see, here's this over here. So that is Hokkaido. That's the northern island of Japan. And you can see here where this is, that big like gap like that, big mouth. Okay, there's that big mouth right there. And there's Aomori. So this is like a section of the map. So they couldn't put it up above it, so they put it off here to the side. And that's Hokkaido. So